Hey, what up, y'all? I hope that y'all are indeed enjoying your Easter weekend. However, I did want to get some updates on the Florida State shooting, and here we are.
Right back to our coverage of the shooting at FSU and the community coming together now after that deadly mass shooting. Video here showing students and staff gathering right there on the campus, remembering those victims. This just a day after a shooter killed 2 people and hurt 6 more. We now know the names of those who were killed. 57-year-old Robert Morales, a South Florida native who was an employee of the university, and 45-year-old Drew Chamba, who worked for the company that provides food services at the school. And our live team coverage starts off this morning in Tallahassee with CBS News Miami's Anna McAllister. She is live outside that growing memorial behind you. We know this has kind of been becoming a safe haven for students and staff there to remember those who were killed and those still in the hospital right now.
Austin, you're absolutely right. Just a moment ago, we saw another student come up and put flowers to this beautiful memorial that you see behind me. We've also seen a lot of students, they're graduating in just 2 weeks, come up to try to take pictures near this building, but trying to be respectful of this memorial. And this is a time of the year that's supposed to be very celebratory for these students, but instead, they're grieving the loss of these 2 victims. Florida State University band provided comfort with familiar songs at the vigil. Some of the thousands in attendance brought flowers and leaned on each other as they grieved the victims of the shooting.
This is the kind of trauma that changes people, and it changes a place.
The victims were identified as 45-year-old Tiru Shaba, an executive for the campus food vendor, and 57-year-old Robert Morales, a high school football coach who worked in the dining services department. Madison Askins is one of the injured.
The minute I got shot, I remember my parents telling me I should stay to play dead.
The gunman was identified as 20-year-old Phoenix Eichner, a junior at the university and the stepson of a local sheriff's deputy. Police say they confronted him within minutes of the attack near the student union building, shooting and injuring him. He remains hospitalized, and police say his recovery will be lengthy.
At this point, there does not appear to be any connection at all between the shooter and any of the victims.
Classes were canceled Friday. We're going to let a few people in at a time, though some students returned to the campus to retrieve their belongings left behind during the shooting.
It's definitely really sad, but seeing the community come together, put down flowers, and just really reflect on loved ones and what we really need to appreciate and be grateful for.
A memorial on the FSU campus keeps growing. And Austin, like you mentioned, classes will resume on Monday. There's also going to be another vigil here tonight at 7:30. But for now, reporting live from FSU in Tallahassee, Anna McAllister, CBS News, Miami.
Yeah, I was in class and it was about 1 o'clock and the shots rang out and we were like, is that construction going on or what was happening? And so we got up, looked out the window, and I remember looking outside and hearing 5 more shots go off. And I was like, what's going on? So I saw kids running away from the student union and I walked away from the window, then I walked back to the window and heard 6 and 7 more shots ring out. And at that point we were like, okay,
Be right back.
So we ran from our classroom, went to the offices.
Lost contact with people. There's kids with real first eyewitness accounts that I was able to have. The closest I was able to receiving any account of the situation was as soon as that guy said, "Oh, there's a shoot."
What just
A lot of our
happened?
customers told us they need a fiber laser. So
Wait a minute,
we
hold
take this
on.
challenge. We want to create the fastest things that.
Yeah, I was in class and it was about 1 o'clock and the shots rang out and we were like, is that construction going on or what was happening? And so we got up, looked out the window, and I remember looking outside and hearing 5 more shots go off. And I was like, what's going on? So I saw kids running away from the student union and I walked away from the window, then I walked back to the window and heard 6 and 7 more shots ring out. And at that point, we were like, okay, there's a shooting going on. So we ran from our classroom, went to the offices, locked the doors, barricaded ourselves in there, and then we waited. And was looking out the window again and saw the SWAT teams pull up, the police cars, the FBI come, and at that point we were like, okay, we gotta bunker ourselves in. And we were praying, we were like, okay, something's gotta change here. And the SWAT team came into the room, they're like, stay where you are, don't move. And we were in there for about 30 minutes. And at that point we were escorted out. About 100 SWATs were inside the building, and our hands were up. And so then we were escorted outside past the Union and then into a safe space.
What was going through your mind when all this was unfolding?
Yeah, I was completely in shock. I didn't think this could happen at Florida State. I never been in a school shooting before, active shooter. This is like first time for me, and I was honestly in shock. My hands were shaking. Just like I was scared, to be honest. Yeah.
Yeah, and so you just saw, you just heard the shots. You didn't see anything.
Yeah, I didn't see the shooter, but I saw like kids running away. I heard some screaming. Yeah, and the shots, like 3 rounds of like 5 shots, and then 7 shots. So it must have been some back and forth going on. Yeah.
Yeah, and how are you doing now?
Good. I've recovered a lot. A lot of people have been texting me. People from out of state, University of Michigan, have been texting me. People from South Florida have been texting me. People from high school have been texting me. Doing a lot better. It's been a great community that surrounded me since then. I definitely didn't think I'd be traumatized as much as I have. Definitely not being on the scene, but being kind of away from it. But yeah, it's been scary. So I'm doing a lot better now. Yeah.
Is there anything that you wish would have happened differently?
Yeah, no, I think the police responded very quickly. I think they did a great job. Yeah, I don't really know what could have happened. Maybe there's more police presence at certain areas for there not to be a shooter. I mean, I think that's just like the most obvious thing, but yeah.
Or anything else you want to add?
No, that's great.
Sounds good. Thank you so much.
Ben, I'm so sorry we're talking to you under these circumstances. How are you doing?
I'm okay. It's the people out there that are not okay. Like, I was able to get back to my apartment safely. I'd say, like, I'm literally one of the most privileged people when it comes to this situation. I was walking out of Thagard. I had an appointment there, and then I'm just walking back to my apartment, and I'm next to the Stroger, and I see these, like, 2 guys running. I'm just like, I think it's an altercation just between them 2, and then the guy in front is like, there's a school shooter, everyone get inside. And that's like when me and the people around me start to realize that this is serious. So we go like bust in a Stroger. You have to like swipe your ID to get in past these like gates, but there's like push past them. I've never been in like a school shooting situation before. I thought, where's the safest place where you go? I go to the elevator and I try to go as high as possible. There's 5 floors, but it only brings me to the 3rd floor. I get out the elevator and like the staff lounge door is open for a second. I was like, I feel like that would be the safest place to go. And I step in, like, you can't be here. I'm like, there's literally a shooting right now. Let me take cover. And then it's just me and 3 other people. They're faculty for about like an hour or so, and we're just like getting information piece by piece. We don't know how serious the situation is, and then we started like hear the alarms and all the sirens, and we're able to like, we get a really good view of Landis Green, and like that's where a lot of stuff happening. We saw this like girl get carried by police, and like just like kids with like hands on their heads, like getting escorted to a library, and it's so serious. And from there, the fire department eventually came in and said like, okay, we're gonna escort you to Reynolds, which is just like some other building on campus. And from there, I was able to walk home safely. But I know right now there's kids who are still in classrooms. There's kids who like got injured or being sent to the hospital. Like the fact that I'm being interviewed right now is crazy because I mean I posted on social media and that's how you guys contacted me. But like there's kids with like real first eyewitness accounts that I was able to have. Like the closest I was able to receiving any account of the situation was as soon as that guy said, "Oh, there's a shooting," when I was right by Schroeder Library, I heard a gunshot in that very moment, and that's when I knew to run.
How close in proximity is the lounge that you took shelter in from the student union?
It's like a 2-minute walk. Like the library and the union are very close together. So I knew that I was in a very dangerous place, but like the staff lounge doors are really made of glass. Like, anyone could break in that moment, but just like, you have to swipe a card to get into the staff lounge, but still it's made of glass. Like, if a shooter wanted to get in, they would, but I don't know, I just felt really safe there, and I thank the faculty that let me stay with them, because I was the only student in there.
What was your instinct in that moment? You had mentioned you saw a girl being carried by police. Did you notice any visible injuries?
I really couldn't see that clearly. I mean, I was like on the 3rd floor in Schroeder. This is happening on ground level, and I just see like they're all like yelling like, "Help her now!" or like, "Get this medic!" and like it was just like a crazy hectic moment. I was just like seeing it with my own eyes, and this whole situation, I feel like I'm not a very sensitive person, but like when I got back home, I like got sent videos of like in group chats with my friends of like dead bodies just like near the student union, which I go to every single day, and like that's where it really like hit me.
We do have to be careful, Ben. We haven't confirmed any fatalities, but I do appreciate you giving us a little bit more information that you've seen videos in your group chat. No, it's okay. I mean, we're working on confirming that information, and certainly you giving us information on what you're seeing on your phone is helpful as we do that, work to do that journalistically. You had mentioned that police had gone into the teachers' lounge where you were seeking shelter with, I believe you said, 3 other faculty members. Was it your understanding that police were going building by building to clear and bring people to safety, and that's what they had done when they reached you?
You know what's in your cheap protein powder? Well, here to tell us is all-natural fitness athlete Paul Sklar.
All right, let's see what we got. Sucralose, artificial flavors, soy lecithin, ion-charged protein blend. That's not good. Aspartame, soluble corn fiber. That's definitely not good.
Transparent Labs protein is sourced from grass-fed American cows and made with only 5 natural ingredients. So today I'm at Bill's family farm to show you where it comes from.
Cecil, Cecil.
Get that junk off my land. It all starts with some of the finest grass-fed beasts in America. No, not them. I mean...
Done when they reached you?
Yeah, so as soon as like we saw like people trying to enter the staff lounge, the glass isn't that clear, but we were able to tell that like those are people helping us. And earlier when we just like were looking out the windows to see what was happening, we saw just like a bunch of like police enforcement and stuff like that with big guns just like staying outside Schroeder Library. Like, we knew Schroeder Library was safe, so like when people approached us, we knew that like they're gonna evacuate us.
I know that you... Yeah, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, like, another moment, I don't know if I mentioned, but like one of the faculty members was crying, just being like, "I'm so scared, I want to go home," and we all hugged. It was a really sweet moment, just showing you how severe the situation is.
Yeah, certainly the fear. It really describes the fear. I mean, was there anything you guys were talking about in that lounge to comfort one another?
I mean, just the uncertainty of it all. Yeah. Like, I just hear from guys saying school shooting. You don't have to tell me twice, I'm running in the building right then and there. But just like as the hours have been going by, it's like you hear more and more stuff, and it's just like sickening. Like a school shooting, I personally, high school, grew up in a very like privileged neighborhood, like Cresskill High School. Like, you would never think a school shooting would ever happen there, but like you hear about it all around the country. And I know like FSU is like a really big college and so many students, like anything can happen, but it's like a school shooting is like that thing that you hear about, but you really don't absorb the situation once it finally happens to you. And I see that's what a lot of people are probably going through today.
Ben, do you guys ever have active shooter drills where university police or administration talk to students and faculty about what to do in the event of such a tragedy?
I don't think so. I actually know that there was a shooting at Schroeder, like maybe 2014, like around that ballpark. I'm not 100% sure. I know that there's been a shooting here before, but active shooter drills, I can't recall ever being in one of those. Like high school, we've always had like code yellow, just like lockdown drills where it's like you hide in like a corner for 5 minutes, but nothing to actually prepare you for what to do when there's like, especially when you're on a college campus, it's different. Like my high school is just like a building, there's no other buildings to go to, but it's like when you're outside and you hear there's a shooter, it's like should you go inside, should you go home, like who knows?
And I know that you said you're not a super emotional person, but clearly this is rattling for anybody. I mean, what are you thinking and feeling in this moment?
Right now, I'm just thinking like, I I am so, like, I'm on the news right now. There should be many other people on the news talking about, like, what they saw and, like, serious stuff, but I'm a person who posts on social media a lot. That's how you guys reached out to me. And
I also wouldn't downplay your experience. What you went through is still traumatic.
yeah, no, I'd say definitely traumatic, but I know there's definitely going to be other people who are going to be taking months to get over this. Like, as I was running the library, I see this girl, like, hyperventilating, and I'm just like, it must be so scary for her because she's clearly showing it.
Is there anything else you think we should know, Ben?
I just hope that everyone is safe, and I'm so sorry for those who are lost. Like, there's literally families right now who, like, sent their kids to college, and this is what's happening with their money that they pay for this kid, or even students paying out of pocket. Like, just so many scenarios where people lost a loved one today, and I'm just on the news interviewing. It's like, that could have been me, that could have been anyone. I want everyone to be so fortunate that they're safe right now if they're safe.
Janet! When's the last time you had a vegetable?
Yesterday.
So we're fortunate that they're safe right now if they're safe.
And Nathan, I'm so sorry again that we're talking under these circumstances, but I appreciate you giving us your time. I appreciate you giving us such open and honest answers, and we hope that you continue to stay safe.
Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Okay, we are back now here at CBS News 24/7. You were just listening to our partners from CBS News Miami. The latest to come out of that shooting at Florida State University. We know 6 people injured. We're told 1 person is in critical condition, the others in serious condition. Right now, I want to bring in Ryan Cederbrand. He is a student at Florida State University, just to get much more from him about what happened. Ryan, first off, I'm sorry that this happened on campus. I just kind of want to know what happened in the moments that all of this unfolded. What do you know? What are you hearing from friends?
Yeah, I was in the student union at the time and in the bowling alley, and so our student union, there's a main floor and then there's a lower level. The bowling alley is on the lower level, and the lower level has a bowling alley, and then we have doors, and then next to it is a bar. And the bar is open to the entire union, where there's no doors, it's just kind of an open space. And all of a sudden, everyone in the bar area started running. And that was when we all kind of were like, this isn't normal, this isn't right, we need to go do something.
And so, Ryan, I just want to be clear here. You were in that student union building, because we're hearing that the shooting happened either around there or inside that building. So you were in that building at the time?
I was, yes.
And so did you hear any gunshots, or you just saw students running and decided, okay, there's something going on here?
Yeah, I didn't hear any gunshots. My first instinct was, something's not right here, and we need to, go shelter somewhere, because everyone immediately running is not normal.
Yeah. And Ryan, where are you right now? Were you able to get out of that student union building and head back to somewhere else on campus? Where are you?
I'm back in my apartment now, yes.
And have you heard anything from your friends? We know several people, sadly, have been injured in this. One of them is in critical condition. Have you heard anything from your friends? Anyone that you're concerned about right now?
I mean, off the top of my head, I don't know of any friends that were in the building at the time. But I do know that, we just went and protected ourselves, and I've had so many people reaching out to me because the student union, I work in the student union, I spent a lot of time there, and I wasn't out of shift at the time, but I was, just hanging out there along with a lot of other people at the time. It's the hub of campus. It's a union.
And Ryan, I completely hate to say this, because oftentimes we hear about school shootings, whether it's at a university or high school, elementary, and you just imagine, well, that sounds super far away and that will never happen to me. I want to know what's going through your head right now. How are you feeling after all this?
Yeah, it's some of it's a state of shock. There's that going on, and then there's shock. There's gratitude. I could not be more grateful for being here, and then also for the first responders, the Florida State University Police, the Tallahassee Police. I was calm, I think, throughout most of it. There were people around that we're panicking, but I just was like, I trust that Florida State Police is going to be here within a matter of moments, and just do what I can and now to be safe, and then just wait for police to come help us out.
Ryan, can you take me back to that moment? I know you said you saw, it sort of just sounded like commotion. You didn't hear any gunshots, but you saw people running out. What did you guys do? Did you run out of the building, or were you hoping that maybe police officers would show up and tell you guys what to do next?
We immediately hid. We first hid in the billiards room of the bowling alley, which is glass. It's open to the front, but it's kind of around the corner, so we were able to kind of almost put another wall between us and the outside, but it was also glass. So once we saw police get down to the lower level was when we went and hid further behind the bowling machines, which has doors that we're able to lock. And then it was probably about 10-15 minutes until the police came and escorted us out of the building.
Okay, so if I'm hearing you correctly, you guys did not run out of the building. You ran somewhere else to shelter in place and waited for police officers to come lead you out of the building.
We did not know what was going on. So in the moment, we were just like, we know we're safe here. Let's protect ourselves first and then go from there.
And can you talk to me about the security situation at that Union building? Because typically, of course, you have police on campus. Most campuses have police officers. But that building, do you typically see security officers around the place roaming?
There are police around a good bit of the time. It's not always, but it's a good bit of the time that we'll see them just going in and out of the Union. And then we, the headquarters for the police is minutes away. It's in a hub of campus, so they're, if they're not in the building, they were, close enough to the building, and it was within, a few minutes, I believe, that they were on scene, and I'm just so grateful to them.
Yeah. And Ryan, I know you posted on X right after this happened. What did you say there? And what, I suppose, what made you feel the need to, express yourself about what you were going through? We're looking at that post right now.
It was just, I'm so grateful to be safe, and just to let people, my friends and family, know that I am safe and I'm okay, and it was just a moment of I can't thank FSU police until I asked you so much for joining
us. I know this was a very, very difficult situation for you. Really appreciate right now.
I finally figured out the real difference between a Masato knife and the ordinary stuff. We've all seen those flashy.
In the stairwell, I was in the library between the 4th and 5th floor, and people started flooding up the stairs, but nobody told me what happened. So then I started walking back up to the 5th floor. By the time I got there was these girls, and it was just chaos. Everyone was there's a shooter and stuff, and so these guys started pressing the elevator button to have the elevators come up and put tables in the walkway to block anyone from getting on the elevator. And then some other guys closed the doors to the 5th floor and then put tables and stuff there. But we were all kind of panicked. I was freaking out and shaking a lot, but for some reason I just had a peace. And part of that is because I'm a Christian, and I think Jesus gave me peace in the midst of a chaotic situation. People use free will for whatever they want to do. And so, it's very heartbreaking, but I hope that, God is brought through this and that people maybe seek him out through it. But yeah, I was with actually a few of my friends, Nick and Allison. I was studying for an exam. But yeah, it was chaos. We were standing up there, and then we actually were by the windows. So at the windows, we saw cops running, students running. It was just everyone was running all over the place. And then we saw a gurney, and then the gurney came back, and the guy had his arm cut off, and I think he was bleeding, and he had bandages and stuff. And so that was really hard to see. Yeah.
I can only imagine what was going through your head when you realized that there was a shooting on your campus.
I mean, when I saw everyone flooding up the stairs, I kind of thought that like the shooter was like in the library. I mean, like nobody told me where it was. They said like Landis or like whatever, and I was just in utter disbelief. I was like, you never think that it's gonna be like you and your campus, but you really never know. So it was just, it felt surreal, but yeah.
How are you doing now?
I'm doing okay. I mean, there's other people who are doing probably a lot worse than me, so I'm just like mourning for those people because I feel really bad. But other than that, like, I'm just waiting to like get my stuff back. My car is in one of the garages that they like locked down. So yeah, I don't have any of my stuff, so I'm just waiting for that.
Anything else you want to add? Anything made this?
In the midst, okay, I'll look at you.
Yeah.
Okay.